You are listening to the Your Next Season podcast, the show designed to keep you informed and uplifted through candid conversations with our guests and host, motivational speaker, and life coach, Gigi Hopkins. Be sure to like and subscribe. And now, here's your host, Coach G.
Hello, and welcome to Your Next Season podcast. My name is Gigi Hopkins, and you know how I say it. I'm super excited about today's show. Listen, I know I say it every time, and every time I mean it, but today I've got a special guest on with me. I am so excited that she said yes. I'm really excited to share these nuggets that's going to come from her. Please help me welcome Ms. Jeanette Grimes. Jeanette, welcome to the Your Next Season podcast.
Thank you, Gigi. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm so happy to talk about this tonight.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was thinking about, when I rebooted the show, I was like, I want to bring folk on that's really going to make a difference in the community, that's going to impact the community in many different ways. And one of the things, I've done my homework, Jeanette. You have done a lot of stuff. Now we're going to talk about your publishing company, but I don't want to do that just yet. I want to talk about who Jeanette Grimes is, because you do a lot of stuff for the community. I want to create an awareness on the number of things that I read about that you do in this community. So tell us a little bit about who Jeanette Grimes is.
I'll run it down, because if I don't, my family is going to say, you didn't say this, or you didn't say this. Okay. So I am a change agent.
Mm-hmm.
I am a community advocate.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me years to even know what that was. But I'm telling you, I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, I'm an auntie. For some, I'm the fun auntie. So my niece said, I try to be an active community member. So I am happily, I was elected to the town council in my area just in 2024. So I'm happy to do that, to be a part of my community in that right. As I said, I'm a writer. I've been a writer for a long time. Glad to be publishing. Glad to collaborate in publishing. I do workshops. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a coach. And that goes along with my personal mission. My personal mission is helpful information sharing. So in helpful information sharing, that crosses a lot of areas. But I have my master's degree in human services. And jokingly, a friend of mine who also has her master's says, Jeanette, why do you have your master's degree? And I say, because I like to serve humans, because it's in human services.
Yes. And you've mastered it. So that's why you have your master's.
Yes,
You do such a great job. You do such a great job. And we're not going to leave out that you are very, very active in your church.
Have to be. That's what keeps me going.
You're a huge support system to a lot of people. You are a huge cheerleader. That is the one title you left out, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp you. I have been in and around your circle, or some of your circles, for about 2 or 3 years now, and I have watched you show up. I watched you show up for one event, and then you chucked down the road because you had another event to show up for, and I love that. And so I thank you for taking time out of that very busy schedule you just told us about,
and
becoming a guest. And so today, again, you're tuned in to the Your Next Season podcast, and I have with me Jeanette Grimes, and I actually have Jeanette on the show today because she owns a publishing company. And many of you have told me you wanted to write a book. You think there's a book in you. Listen, here's what I wanted to do for you. And you're welcome, people. I wanted to bring you someone that we can ask some good questions to and get the great answers we need before writing the book. Sometimes we just dive into things haphazardly because it sounds like a good idea or it's the new trend, and we don't have full knowledge of what we're doing. So I have with me again Jeanette Grimes. And Jeanette, if I botch this up, fix it because
You're okay. You're okay.
it's LeZeal Enterprises.
LeZeal. It's the
LeZeal,
last is
see?
zeal. Uh-huh. Keep the
So
zeal. I gotta keep the zeal.
LeZeal Enterprises. I told you I was going to botch it up,
It's
but
okay.
listen,
It's okay.
I love the title. You have to share with me, how did you come up with LeZeal Enterprises?
Okay, so I was actually, okay, you mentioned I do go to church. My faith is my life.
Mhm.
But I was praying and wondering and wanted to start a company, but I wanted it to mean something. I
Yeah.
wanted it to mean something to me and for me to be able to work with folks, whatever that was going to unfold to be. But I
Mhm.
wanted to leave a legacy. I
That's
just
good.
didn't want to have it for now. I
Yeah.
want to leave a legacy. And not only leave it, I want to lead it
Yes.
because I
Yeah.
have to be an example. So LeZeal Enterprises is leading and leaving a legacy
Yeah.
of zeal. So
That's
all those words
good.
start with LE. So we put it together and we were trying to find a name that wasn't taken. And
Mhm.
then my friend said, I don't know if people are going to be able to pronounce it. I said, it's okay. Because the first time I saw Nike, I just said Nike. And they said,
Yeah.
no, it's Nike. So I don't mind going over the pronunciation for
Yeah.
LeZeal for when it becomes global, that'll be that.
Yes. And here's the thing, it becomes a story you get to share because if I would have gotten it correct, then we wouldn't have had the breakdown. So I love it. So I'm glad. So it's LeZeal.
LeZeal. And zeal
LeZeal.
actually comes from a scripture that inspires
Mhm.
me. That's our guiding scripture for LeZeal Enterprises. And
Okay.
that's from Romans chapter
Mhm.
12, verse 11. And that's in the New International Version. And that says, never be lacking in zeal, but
Mm,
keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord.
I
And
love it.
I like to say, Gigi, that's the New International Version because
Yeah.
that's who I am.
Love it. I knew getting you on this show was going to make my day. I love it. So listen, you hear us talking about LeZeal, but I need you to understand there are some things up under LeZeal's umbrella. There is not one book, there's not two books, there are several books. Listen, I'm cheating because I brought them. I brought them out. I have three. I have at least three, and I'm telling you, these two right here to mess me all the way up. This one, let me see. This one here with Rachel Brown. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it.
Powerful story. Powerful.
Powerful story. Read it in one sitting, and I have read this twice since. So I've read it a total of three times. It's heavily marked, as all of my books are, heavily marked. But this was a good one. This was a good one. And then my last one I read was this one. I read this at the pool. It was blazing hot outside, but I refused to get up because I don't stay outside past 30 minutes. But I refused to get up. So listen, I know a lot of people say, but she wasn't the author. Yeah, but she was the publisher. And that's where the difference comes in. Now, let me be right, because I got to give my buddy, I got to give him some props too.
Please.
Dr. T, because Lord knows I would not get away with that. But this was also a part of your work as well. I know you came
Yes.
in on the back end
Yes.
and helped him out with this.
Yes. Yes.
But these other two started with you from the very beginning and worked your way
Absolutely.
through. So, how
Mhm.
many credits do you have under your belt?
Okay. So I've done, okay, that's good. That was a good
Mhm,
question.
mhm.
But this year, I really love to say been in someone else's book, a couple of compilations. My first book
Let me hold
that
this
I
one
did
up.
not. That's the one, yes.
Let
So
me hold this one up.
Unstoppable Black Woman, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That was one of the last ones. Went to bestseller. So
Mm-hmm.
collaboration with, I think it was 15 other wonderful women,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful stories, and leaving. And that book is about legacy today,
Yeah.
yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So that was a great collaboration, and that went to bestseller. I was also, that's the third edition. I was also in the second edition. That was a
Oh,
collaboration.
okay.
So those were two
Okay.
collaborations I've been in. Now for myself, I have my first book I published. I wrote, but I did not publish. I didn't like the experience, so
Mhm.
that's why I went into publishing. So in
Love
I've
it.
done a couple. That's how that started. So
Mhm.
I went into writing and doing and publishing, but when I got to where I wanted to make a difference, my next pieces, it's a recovery guide. That was in 2023. Went to
Mhm.
bestseller. That's called Recovery and Repurpose. Just an inspirational, something to encourage folks to keep going. Some affirmations are in there
Mhm.
for recovery. I used to work with folks in recovery,
I
and
love
they
that.
taught me to get every area of their life back together.
Mhm.
So that's where that recovery and repurpose came from. That was in 2023. So I
Yeah.
published that, went to bestseller. In 2024, as I said, that collaboration. But this year in March, I had 4 ebook bestsellers on the
Or
same day. That's historic.
that's
We were trying to get the
historical.
yes, we were trying to get World Guinness here, but we couldn't get them in time enough, but it was still a glorious occasion. So those 4 books, one is called one is a workbook, The
Mhm.
Totality of Wellness. I did a second edition of my first book because that means I'm the publisher, and there
Yes.
are some details that go along with that. There's another one called Kingdom
Love it.
Currency, What
Ooh.
Really Counts. And
Mm.
then my faith bio.
Mhm.
I believe everyone should tell their story about their faith. That's
Mm.
also how we leave a legacy. And I
Yeah.
just love it. I
And you
just
know
love it.
what I love, Jeanette? Every time I've had a conversation with you that's past 3 minutes, the word legacy comes out of your mouth every time, which means you're very passionate about legacy, which I love because in our community, ours as an African American,
Mhm.
we're not taught a lot about legacy. And I had an insurance broker on here a couple of podcasts ago, and that's
Mhm.
one of the things we talked about. We talked about the benefits of life insurance and how you can make it work for you while you are alive.
Absolutely. I
And so
believe that.
shared
That's
a
great.
lot of good nuggets on that because legacy is extremely important. And
It
when and
is.
which is another reason I wanted you to be the person I talk to about publishing, because here's the thing. When you put stuff in these, you're leaving stuff behind. And you have to make sure that what you're putting in this, it's good stuff. Which brings me
Yes.
to my first question for you.
Uh, okay.
Who should write a book? And what are some things should a person consider? And I know, to play devil's advocate real quick before you answer, anybody who wants to write a book, I know, but let's really talk about it. Who should write a book and what things should they consider before they even start the manuscript?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to not cry here to answer this, okay? Who should write a book? I can give you my answer.
Okay.
And yeah, a lot of people would say, oh, anyone can do that, everyone.
Mhm.
But even when I go through history,
Mhm.
looking at books that made a difference,
Mhm.
it wasn't everybody. I
Yes.
think you should really mean it.
Mm-hmm.
And like
That's
I said,
good.
you notice legacy is my purpose. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just about me. I wrote my faith bio. That's not for me. I know it.
Yes,
I
that's
need
so
someone
good.
else to know it.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that is thinking about leaving a treasure
Mm.
earth should write a book.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And what you said something that really resonated with me quickly. It wasn't for you. You're leaving something behind. And most people would not understand why I asked that question, and you answered it so well, because you have people, again, it's a trend. It's why I want to be able to say I wrote a book. But what was the impact of it?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Is it collecting dust on the shelves, or is it going out to the masses and changing? I'm always I'm always interested in reading when someone tells me they have a self-help book. I read a lot of those, but I want to make sure it's a self-help book, which brings me to this point. How how important is transparency when you're writing?
I believe it's of the utmost importance.
Mhm.
Um, when I wrote my first book, it's a journal. And
Mhm.
one of my friends said, "Oh, I thought I was going to settle in and read something really juicy." I said, "Not for
Mhm.
11.99, you won't." I said, "That's a 35 to $50 book." You understand me? But that one didn't come yet, Gigi. It didn't come yet. But transparency, I believe, is so important, so important. It's really important because,
It is.
then
Mhm.
it wouldn't be a book of truth.
That's
Are
it.
you writing fiction or nonfiction?
I want to be able to connect with the author.
Mhm.
I love authors that are relatable. I love the transparency because I don't have to guess what you've been through because you're trying to keep a skirt on it. Because I'm just someone that believes that raw is what heals.
It
And if you
is.
think
It
about that in
truly
the
is.
physical, it makes no sense because a raw wound
Mhm.
ain't healed, but it's raw that heals. And so,
Right.
yeah, I'm really big on that. So, if someone were to start a manuscript, at what
Mhm.
part of that process should they start to contact a publisher?
It depends on what the publisher does
Okay.
because Gigi, right now in our atmosphere, you
Mm-hmm.
can get a book published for $149.
Mm.
You can pay someone $3,000,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to know what you're getting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With
Mm-hmm.
my first publishing experience, I needed to have a complete manuscript done before we even worked together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, clients I'm working with now and have worked with, they didn't have a complete manuscript.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for one of my clients a couple of years ago, she was doing a devotional. She said, "I've been working on this for 2 years." I said, "Okay, we're going to create a plan." We had it done and published in 3 months.
Wow.
So it depends on what you need,
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
you have, what you need, and what you have need of. Do you need help with the writing? There's work that you do, and then there's work that's done for you.
Right.
That says a different cost. You
Mm-hmm.
know, am I
Mm-hmm.
working with you or am I working for you? Different
Very,
cost.
listen, very different, very different. And I like how you put that. Am I working for you or am I working with you? Because if I'm working for you, of course, the cost is going to be higher.
Yes, there
And
you go.
when I'm seeing some of the works that are out here now, because
Mhm,
one of the things that I will do, I don't care where I go, I will try to support. Now, but I'm a first 5 page kind of gal. If the first 5 pages don't hook me, we ain't gonna make it. I've
I'm
always
glad
been
I
like
didn't
that.
know that before now.
Look,
I will be thinking about
nobody's gonna
you for every book I write or help with from now on, and the ones I write. I'm
these
done. 5 pages.
5 pages. They gotta get us, they gotta hook us. I've always been like that. That's just how I am. But I'm
Understood.
seeing a lot of work that you can tell, and this is no critiquing of anyone's work, it's just what I've seen with these eyes. It's put together kind of quick, and and I think some people go to the table not knowing what to expect. Well, the publisher's going to do it all. Well, did y'all talk about that? Did you talk about the editing? Did you talk about the
Mhm,
proofing? Did you talk about
mhm.
this? Did you talk about that? Because you can look and turn around and you're thousands of dollars in and still don't have a great read.
Right. Yeah,
and
truly.
I, and I know this gonna be this gonna be an interesting question, because I know it varies for everyone. But in your opinion, what makes a good read for you, the public?
Life experience. Even the folks that I
Yes.
publish, life experience, because they mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they mean it and because they've lived it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so outside of that, and I've worked with people, and my question, I go through all those things you just said. Have you
Mm-hmm.
thought about this? Have you worked on this? Why? Why are you writing this book, or why do you want to write this book? I know this, or I know this, and I
Yeah.
know this,
Yeah.
and okay, that's great, but I think, we're not a good fit,
Yeah.
and I've
Mm-hmm.
learned to say no, because I don't say yes to everyone,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't be a good
I
fit.
love that.
That life
Love that.
experience. What's your purpose in this? If your purpose
Mm-hmm.
is helping someone, or even like you said, picking up that book and you read that and it's helping to heal or helping someone else to
Mm-hmm.
heal, I think that's so meaningful. I think it's so
Yeah.
meaningful. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, these two books that were published under you, the, life changing, life changing.
Yes. Yes.
This one I mark it up so much, and I'm gonna throw this out here, Miss Ellie. Please read your message, because I sent you a messenger like a month ago. I need a yes.
Oh,
I want her on this
wow.
show, because
Wow.
her transparency, I'm big on transparency. Anyone knows me, and I say that in every show. And this honest truth just blessed me so much. And
Yes,
I
yes.
think transparency is really good, especially if you're trying to help someone. Here's what I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think as a reader, because again, I'm an avid reader, I know when I'm being fluffed.
I was just gonna say that. Listen,
Know when I'm being fluffed. Like you put a skirt on this. That's not your whole truth. I stopped reading at that point, to be real honest.
most people know it. Most people know.
Yes.
Very rarely you're gonna get somebody that goes all the way through, but most people are like, stop reading, forget it.
Yep.
It lost me at maybe page 4, Gigi. I don't know.
I tap out. you, you said maybe page 4. Exactly. Jeanette, I didn't think we were gonna cut up this bad, but yes, maybe page 4.
Maybe
But
page 4.
and I know I'm laughing and stuff, but I wanted you on here because I wanted to bring awareness to these type things. When you want to write a book, have a purpose, not just to say
Absolutely.
you wrote a book. Because
Hmm.
if you write a book and all it's doing is collecting dust, like I love books that people read and then they say, listen, you have to read. I purposely, my last read from you, I'm gonna hold this one up again.
Hmm.
And actually, this one too, I did it with this one as well. I purchased several copies. And I gave my last copy of this one to my nurse practitioner. I said, you need to read this book. Do not let this cover fool you. It's not a kid's book. It's a grown woman's book, but the nuggets she dropped in here will blow your mind. A lot of my life coach clients have a copy of this book because of what it does. And those are the things that I look for as a reader. I want to know that you're telling me the whole truth. You owe it to
That's
me.
it.
I just invested.
Yes, that's what it is. And people are not only investing their money,
Mhm.
their time, their
Time.
heart, their
Yes.
mind, all of them is opened up,
Hmm.
by what they read as I tell my grandchildren, if they see the okey doke, you just lost.
You just
Just
lost.
lost.
You just
Yep.
lost. Now, you mentioned about ebooks. So,
Mhm.
what's the difference in an ebook versus a hard copy, soft copy? Which way should you go? Should you go both routes or all three routes? What's the difference and what's the best route?
Okay. So it depends on what your aim is.
Okay.
For some of mine, we start out with only ebooks. It depends
Mm-hmm.
upon what kind of audience there is, what the aim is for the author. So we can go all through all of it, the
Mm-hmm.
ebook, the hard copy, the soft copy, it depends. I think the last couple of my most recent folks did all of those for various reasons.
Okay.
Some people like hardcover, some people like soft cover. Some people like ebooks because, say, Amazon Kindle is free and people don't want hard copies in their house anymore,
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, now for me, I'm a note taker. I'm writing it up, I'm circling, I'm highlighting.
Yeah.
I need that hard copy. I
Yes.
paperback or hard copy. If it's one I'm taking with me and traveling a
You,
lot, do,
you can
do,
see my
there,
markups.
there it
I
is.
marked this book up.
Yes.
Mhm.
So some folks are going to want to mark up. So we had
Yeah.
that conversation with the author and
Mhm.
the
That's
purpose
good.
of it. So, say one of my last books, we did the ebook, but
Mhm.
it's a workbook. So that needs to
Oh,
be mostly in hard copy because
yeah.
people need something in hand. If
Yeah.
they're taking this workshop or they're doing this
Mhm.
class, they need a hard copy. A journal. Some people are going to electronic journaling. So an ebook of a journal is fine, but some people still, it's
Want that.
therapeutic for them to
Mhm.
actually write. So
Yes.
that's the reason behind maybe a hard copy of a journal.
Mhm. Walk us through, um, if you will, what does the publishing process at LeZeal look like? What does that look like for an author coming to you saying, hey, listen, I want to take you on as my publisher from the
Okay.
beginning? Let's say they wanted to start from the beginning with you. What does that look like?
First, I do a consultation because
Okay.
I ask a lot of questions.
Hmm.
It's like an interview. Do we want to work together? Do I say yes? By far, I am not the best publisher out there, but I'm close to the best you'll ever get with the details that we go through.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that in arrogance. I'm
No,
saying that
absolutely not.
because of my experience. I
Hmm.
did not like my first experience. And
Hmm.
after 2018, after my first book, I began to study that.
Hmm.
So my next book, I did not publish. I worked with someone else in a collaboration. That was part of my investigative research.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm my own case study. So I've gone
I
through
love
these
it.
things. So I talk to people about, what do you want? Do you
Hmm.
need us to edit?
Yes.
And
Yes.
some folks said, no, you don't need to edit. I just need you to get it. I need you to get it printed. I need this thing done. We've had that. We've had, please edit it. I don't know about my writing. I know what I wanted to say. I wanted to make things sure things are clear. So we ask point by point by point.
Mm.
Some people don't know some of the classic parts of a book. So we say, if you want this, then you write one of these. If you want this, then you put one of these. So we
Mhm.
go through all those details and questions because it's a full menu.
Yeah, yeah.
You may not want the full buffet. You
Yeah.
may just want some of the
I just want
entrees,
to
you know,
nibble a little bit.
just a little bit, just a little bit.
A little
But
bit.
we go through that. And I
Yeah.
also consider it, Gigi, an educational process.
Yes.
I never
Yes.
want anyone to feel like I felt on that first time I published. I
Yeah.
never want anyone to feel like that. I
Mm-hmm.
never want anyone to feel like, nah, we should have talked about that. I wanted to know. And I do guide through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a piece by piece, but then you get a whole project because those puzzle pieces come together to give
Yeah.
you that whole project.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talk about that, all the
Good.
details.
And I love that. And I love the consultation piece where you are really asking questions so that you can know the individual, know if you're a
Yes.
good fit. Because
Hmm.
listen, just because they have the money, it doesn't mean they're going to be a good fit. And I run several businesses and all money, people say all money ain't good money. I don't take money from everyone because we're just not going to be a good fit. If
Exactly.
cannot serve you in the spirit of excellence or you can't receive
Hmm.
me in the spirit of excellence, we're not a good fit. We're
Hmm.
just not.
Hmm.
And I don't care if you pay top dollar, some people are just not going to be a good fit. But I like that
Hmm.
you walk them through the process because, again, it's a great idea in a head until you
Hmm.
start really putting it together. And when you do the consultation piece of it, you get to let them know timelines because I've worked with people and dealt with people, they're like trying to rush, rush, rush. You don't want to rush your process because
No.
you'll end up with a finished product that looks rushed, reads rushed, be
Hmm.
received
I
as
had one of
rushed,
those.
and it's not going to be good once it's at that point. um
Yes.
so one of the things I wanted to also talk about, what is the importance what is the
Uh-oh.
importance of artwork? Do Is that something that the publishing work with the individuals on? Do they go outside to do it? Because again, everyone has a different, I mean, even the books that I have now, they all have different covers. It's
Uh-huh.
different. So, Rachel has Rachel on her cover, and then
Hmm.
Ellie has Ellie, but Ellie is telling a
Yes.
whole story on this one, a whole
Yes.
story.
Yes.
But how important is coming with some knowledge already on what you want the artwork to look like, and who does that piece? Does that fall under LeZeal?
Actually, for all four of those books you just held up, it was different for each one.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can have someone else do it. We can do it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people come and say, this is what I want on the cover. And then we start working with drafts. And some folks say, I already know what I want my cover to look like. I had someone do that for me. Some folks have worked up until that point. So it
Mm-hmm.
depends again when we go through that questioning. Some people have the manuscript ready and have no idea how the cover should be or what they
Yeah.
want on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So we can have the full gamut there. Some people are ready and done and know what they want. Um, Now I have done research and reference to colors for different topics. We
Mm-hmm.
can even go to that extreme if
Mm-hmm.
someone doesn't know what they want or,
Yeah.
hasn't had any experience. But if people know what they want, then we always try to deliver that or work with them on that. Yeah.
Okay. So here's a different question. Have you ever
Okay.
had to say to a client, I don't think that's a good idea?
Absolutely. That's part of my consultation, actually. I ask different questions like, what are your likes? What are your dislikes? What do you
Mm-hmm.
like in a helper? What do have you ever had an accountability partner? Because if we begin to work together, then I'm accountable to you and you are accountable to me
So
because I
good.
tell folks when you say I'm supposed to help with this, I become accountable And you're not going to hold me up for 5 years. We got to get this done.
You're not holding me up for 5 years. Listen, we needs to get this done.
Okay.
He said 5 pages in, not 5 years.
The other five. The other five. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Listen.
it's so serious
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
if you say you want to get this done, sometimes we are our own holdup.
Yes, yes. And those timelines are extremely important because, I've worked with some people before and I've heard them be, you know, they criticize on the other end, well, this wasn't met and this wasn't met. And I'm thinking, and you haven't met not one of your deadlines yet. It's a partnership. You are married to
Absolutely.
in this, and marriage comes with partnership. 100 100. It's no such thing. It's
Absolutely.
50-50 because when you give someone an opportunity for 50, that means they can take 50% and do something else with it, which is probably going to be waste your time. That was
Yes.
one of my life coach nuggets. Like, you better stop asking for a 50-50 relationship because you give them 50% to do what they want. And then nothing you can say because you gave them 50% to do it. It's
Yes.
100,
Absolutely.
100. So the new thing now, you mentioned collaboration.
Mhm.
The new thing now is this thing called an anthology, where there are a number of authors in one book.
Mhm.
What if you could say something to a potential author that's getting ready to enter into such collaboration? What are some
Mhm.
key things that you would tell them to look for or some questions to ask before getting into it? I shared with you before we got started that I was actually in one. And it was an interesting experience for me.
Ah, okay. I heard what you didn't say. Okay.
You would catch that, Jeanette.
Okay. Well, I understand that because those experiences can be uh different.
Mhm.
And they can be exciting, but even when we're excited, we
Mhm.
have to pay attention to the details of business
Good. That's
because
good.
this is business.
Mhm.
Because as you said, when you have that book, it's here.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about it. It's like any other business transaction.
That's
You need
right.
to know all the details involved, know what
Mhm.
your responsibility is, what your cost responsibility is,
Ooh, yes, ma'am. And your hidden costs.
hidden cost or fluctuating cost.
Yeah.
Because some people will say, you know what, this is only going to be $499. And then if someone comes
For
back to you and
800.
say, oh, wait, we need another $200 because we thought. No, you might have thought, but you didn't think out well. So I'm just trying to be, open enough for you, dear, because people have been taken. I've had
Yes.
a client who, apparently this happened to 3 different times. And
Wow.
going through the benefit of the doubt because someone says they're in a business, I need
Mhm.
to see some concrete evidence
That's
that
right.
you are. I did not want to start a publishing company unless I had been published multiple times. So
That's good.
after that, then I can say, I trust the process because I've gone through the process for myself. And I
Yes.
know these things. I'm not just saying it and telling you, you know what? I believe this is going to work. I don't have to say that. I can say, I know this is going to work because
Love it.
that's the experience I had.
Love it. And you touched on something and you used this word several times. You used the word business. It is a business transaction. And here's the thing, it's your business. And you got to think about how you want to represent yourself. So, Jeanette, I have never been a person that goes with someone because everybody is using them. I do my homework. I do my research. The reason why I knew
Yes.
your whole bio before you gave it to me is because I did my research. Because it's a transaction. This is a partnership. It's a podcast partnership. I'm the
Mhm.
host, you're the guest. That makes us in a partnership. So,
Right.
and you going to say yes if you didn't know my history,
Right.
because
That's so
your
true.
business, it's your brand, and you need to take out the excitement piece and think about it from a business perspective. And I need for everyone to understand that most of these anthologies come with a price.
Yes, they do. They
Comes with
do.
a price. It is a good idea, but do your research. One of the things you said, Jeanette, you said you were not going to start a publishing company until you had been published several times. Makes all the sense in the world. Makes all the sense in the world. You need to check out folks' work. I want to have totally legit individuals. I have seen the work that you produce, which is why it makes it easy for me. So if you're looking to write a book, do your research, do your homework. Just because someone said, I publish, look at their work, read their work. We need to make sure that we're creating an awareness that yes, it is good to write if you are a writer. Put it in writing. It's
Yes,
so therapeutic to write. And journals are
very.
thing. And it doesn't always have to be a book. You mentioned someone's writing a devotion, someone's doing a journal. Recently, I've seen some people publishing, I believe, coloring books, because adult coloring is a
Yes.
now a
Yes.
I
Yes.
find it so therapeutic. There's a young lady named
Yes.
Helen. I've got several of Helen. I supported her recently, and I sit sometimes in my little Bay Area, and I just color. And I'm like,
Hmm.
so good to
Her
just
books
do
are
a
great. Yes, her books are
yes.
great.
And
Yes.
so you have so many different areas, but just do your research.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
do your research.
Yeah.
So we've answered some good questions. We've asked and answered some very good questions. So here's a question. If someone wanted to start and they just wanted to talk a little bit more to Miss Jeanette Grimes, just to get a feel, how does one get in touch with Jeanette Grimes of LeZeal Enterprises?
They can hit the website and leave us a message, and we'll get back to them via email, or they can leave a voicemail at the general phone number. The website is lezeal.org, lezeal.org. The phone number, because we're here in Southside Virginia, but we work nationally. I almost said globally. We'll see. We do work globally, but the 434-226-0357.
Okay. And all of this information is on the screen. And so make sure that if you are someone, because again, I have so many of you, which is why Jeanette's on this show, because down through the years, people have come to me, listen, I'm a life coach, not a publisher, but I wanted you to have great answers before you even got started. Jeanette is going to bring you under her fold, do a consultation to see if you all are a good fit. Ask her for a consultation, show up for it, be present, already write down the things that you're looking to do, what you want to do, have your ideas on paper. You can see that she's super creative, so she can help you further it.
Mhm.
And listen, it's an investment, and I want people to know that. I don't think a lot of people realize, and not just a monetary investment, but it's a life investment because you're leaving something behind. And so when you're writing these things and you're leaving stuff behind, you want to make sure that what you're leaving behind is good work.
Mhm. Yes,
Because
absolutely.
when the children of this author grows up and read this, they're going to be so proud of their mother because it's just that good of a book. The transparency and the honesty. And so, listen, don't come to Jeanette
Mhm.
with no foolishness. If you're really ready to write a self help book, come naked, not in the physical,
Please, please, and please. Thank you.
but come naked. Be a whole naked canvas so that you can be true, transparent, and authentic and watch your stuff never stay on a shelf. It won't, it
That's a
can't stay.
good point. Uh, the the piece that I didn't like about my first publishing experience is that was what I got. Only an experience, a book, and that was it. I have a relationship with the people I help publish. And, even Rachel Brown just hit her 1 year and it was massive. Dr. Thornhill is still doing events. It's like, you need me, call me. This is coming up. This is coming up. Ellie Wansley has another speaking engagement this coming week. I'm like, listen, I want to know what my people are doing. We just don't want to cut it off. We believe
Mhm.
and we want to support, not just publishing. Just doesn't it isn't the end. It's not a period there.
Right. And I want to just to kind of piggyback a little bit on what you've just said. It's not about doing it for the engagements. It's not about doing it to say that, oh, and I had to order more books. Here's the thing. The reason why Dr. Thornhill is doing engagement after engagement, Ellie on another engagement, I'm gonna have to find out more about that because I want to support that. Her doing this, and she just put this book out. And it has hit the ground running. Ellie, I need you to contact me.
Yes.
I keep on saying it until she does. Okay.
I will let her know, definitely.
We talked about Dr. T. He's doing stuff. Ellie's book has hit the ground running. Rachel is still selling, celebrated a year.
Rachel is speaking, and they're all three of those. They're speaking,
Yes.
they're moving, they're doing event. It's really a great thing. So it's not just publishing the book.
And let me explain why. They're not just doing it to sell books, they're doing it because of the content that's inside of the book.
Hmm.
It has
Hmm.
proven to help people. It has proven to help transform lives. If you want to talk about a transformation book, this one under LeZeal Publishing, that's a transformation book. If you want to talk about bravery and courage, this for all the mothers, I'm going to get her on this show, but I'm going to promote her book real quick. For all the mothers who have been just, this book is what you need to get. Listen, it's the transparency in all three of those books, especially Rachel and Ellie's book. They are super transparent. I was in tears reading both of those books. Why? Because they were relatable to me at some part of my life. It was relatable. So I love an author that makes me feel like I'm right there with them or that I wasn't alone in what I went through. So see it as a business, treat it as a business. If you want to start writing a book, please contact Jeanette. Listen, I got one of the best. She was very modest and said, I'm not the best publisher, but I'm up there. And she is, which is why she's on this show. Please don't haphazardly start a book and not have the facts and not have it done the right way, because at the end of the day it will be a waste of money and on a shelf collecting dust. So please don't do that. So I'm going to say this, Jeanette. I'm going to leave you with anything else you would like to say before we wrap up this podcast. I've enjoyed you immensely. I knew we were going to have fun, but I
That was
but I
it
enjoyed it. But
was fun.
what is that one thing that you would say to that person that I don't like using the word straddling the fence, but I don't really have nothing else to put there. But someone is like, oh, I don't know. I kind of want to reach out. I don't really know what to do. Maybe I don't have enough to say. Listen, all of these books are not that thick. Dr. T's book is super thin. You don't have to have 500 pages in a book. You don't have to.
Nope, nope, you do not.
Who said that
You
you have?
do not. You do not. And that speaks to what I knew about publishing when I began. I had a story I thought I was going to publish. The publishing package I purchased, tongue twister, was too large for the story I wrote. So
Mm.
years to get something else ready
Uh-huh.
because
Wow.
I didn't know, and I didn't know who to ask. There was no one
Mhm.
for me to talk to that I knew of.
Mhm.
So if someone is out there, just call. It's a conversation. And
Right.
I guarantee you, you will learn something.
Yes, yes. And here's the thing that I'm convinced of. Because I can promise you without a doubt, if God gives me the nudge to write a book, I already know who's going to publish it. And I'm going to start at the very beginning with Jeanette Grimes of LeZeal Enterprises. I'm starting there. Why? Because you've already done the work. And it makes no sense for me to go anywhere else. But like she said, it's a conversation. Just have the conversation. And here's what I'm almost convinced of, because I know Jeanette. You may go in there with a 25-page idea, but by the time that consultation is over with, you may have already landed 100 pages and didn't even realize you got it, because that's what a good consultant does. It pulls out the best in you, whereas you thought it was just this little thing that, maybe this is story worthy. Your whole life is story
Right.
worthy. It's all in how you frame it.
Absolutely.
It's all in how you frame it. So listen, make the call, area code 434 226 0357.
That's it.
That's correct. It's on the screen. Make the call. Listen, kids, help your mama and them screenshot, because we ain't all good on screenshotting. So help them screenshot that number. And you're never too old to write a book. You're never too young to
Never,
write a book.
never,
There are
never.
some young people that have books in them. And I'm seeing
Yes.
a lot of children books lately that's being published.
Yes.
There's so many different areas. And here's the thing about this: you can be your own unique self. You don't have to be a carbon copy of anyone. Just be you. And we mentioned Nike in the beginning. If you want to start a book and you want to do it right, contact Jeanette Grimes with LeZeal Enterprises. Just do it. In the words of,
That's it.
just do it. Jeanette, this has been such a pleasure. I have
It
enjoyed
was a good
on
time.
here. And listen, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this. Thank you so much for all that you do in the community. I am just blown away by your credentialing alone and the stuff that you
Mm,
do in the community so effortlessly, and you do it without any impure motives at all. It's just to better the next person. And that is what we need in this community. So thank you.
yes.
Thank you for your time and working with those in recovery, because that's extremely important. It's near and dear to me. Thank you for all that you do and all that you serve. And thank you for serving your clients at LeZeal Publishing in the spirit enterprises, excuse me, in the spirit of excellence. I have witnessed that firsthand.
Wow.
So thank you so much. Listen, I also want to take time out to thank our sponsor, Dominion Health Education Center, where they teach personal care aid classes, nurse aid classes, and medication management. They are scrolling on the bottom of the screen. If you're interested in any of those courses, please give them a call at area code 804-340-6163. Again, I say thank you to Dominion Health Education Center. This is Gigi Hopkins, and until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Your Next Season podcast, the show designed to keep you informed and uplifted through candid conversations with our guests and host, motivational speaker and life coach Gigi Hopkins. Again, thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.